Hey everybody, it's the Honey Badger. We're doing more work to the GX470. We're gonna build a base so we can have a sleeping platform and some storage as well that we'll build into it while we're off overlanding and doing that. But to do this, we're gonna obviously have to take out the middle seats, which is fine. I do not use them and I do not have a need for them. So at the moment, they're not really doing me any favors really. So we will remove these to get them out. And then we are first gonna do some measurements. So let's get to measuring and go from there. All right, the seats are out. Pretty simple. Just a 14 millimeter socket. We'll take those out and then you can see really how much room you get. Now mine will be a little bit different. I'm gonna actually run an interior tire setup where it will be right here in the back. So my spare will actually be probably right here. So that cuts down a little bit of space for me, but I'm not too worried about it. One tire's not gonna ruin it. Really, the length is something that is a little bit of a concern, but I just laid down in here. I'm 6'2", and I fit snugly when fully stretched out. So I think that's just enough room. If you're taller than me, it probably starts to get a little bit more difficult, but other than that, there should be enough room in here. So what we need to do now is we're gonna measure where we want our, our base to start, and it's gonna run all the way to here so we can keep this height the same. I'm not gonna do an elevated one. I just want the room I currently have. I'm gonna use this floor, and then we'll probably carpet over what we're gonna cut. But I would like it, if possible, to be kind of snug. I'm not looking for perfect, but we're gonna need to do it with the doors closed because obviously this will come into the car just a little bit here. So we'll close the doors, we'll get our tape measure out, we'll start writing down our dimensions, and then we'll kind of see how we wanna do this, either with a jig or how we wanna cut this. So got a couple different options, but let's get our measurements now. Okay, let's check in, because what we need to do at this point is get this level. And to get this level, we need to support it. We have just put these in on the sides at the moment. This is the perfect height. This is like 7 inches and a quarter. I had this wood lying around. Literally everything I'm using right now is just stuff I have laying around. So nothing's costing me anything. It's gonna be great if everything works out, but that's 7 1/4. And at that height, if we get the level, and we look at it, we are level. And if we bridge the gap between the two, the back and the level, we are also still level. And the back's flat right now too. So we're perfectly level. What would be ideal to keep things simple and to optimize space, because underneath this we're gonna use for storage, we'll put the hinge on it somewhere in this range. I'm not sure how we're gonna connect this. Maybe we just connect it here, put the hinge here, so this flips up and this stays put. Haven't decided how we're doing that yet, but we'll figure that in a second. But without putting supports in the middle, that will mean we have more space for stuff underneath. So we're gonna try to just go with one on this end and one over there, and there's one over there right now. And they're not; these are not attached right now, so this is nothing's like sturdy. But I'm gonna go sit on it in the middle, and we'll see if it bows in or if there's any crazy flex. But this is such thick plywood, I don't think that'll be a problem. So let's check it out and see if I can sit on it. I don't think I'll ever be sitting back on this part, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm bouncing up and down. This plywood isn't gonna break. So this will be fine, because at most, my legs or my part of my torso will be over this if I'm sleeping, not sitting directly over the top of it. So I think this is gonna be fine. All right, we took it back out of the vehicle. When we cut out our 10-inch section, which will flip up and out of the way on our hinge that we plan on putting in, this is the storage, in theory, that you have underneath. And it's pretty flush to where it starts to rise up, because there's only about an inch or two of space underneath there. So we really just want this space, since it gets us about 7 inches. of storage across, obviously a little less in the middle. What we'll do is now take this 10-inch section, like I said, it'll go in here, and we need to get a hinge now for it. So that's definitely the one thing I'm going to need to buy. So I'm going to go source myself a hinge, and I'll leave you a link to whatever I source, but let's talk about that in a moment. But I'm going to get it mounted to this, and then we're going to figure out how we want to finish and carpet this and any other details we need to make to it. So we have at least the cut and the way we want it to fit and function. For the most part, that part of it's close to completed. So let's get this wrapped up with the hinge and see what to do next. The rough in now is a little less rough. We have things screwed down mostly for its kind of like final test fit before we get the carpet put onto the wood. So we've got our hinges in, like I said, not screwed all the spots in, but we have it in, so it's functional. We'll flip that up in just a second. And then we have our sides in as well. We put a couple of screws that are like 4 or 5 inches long into them. We screwed those, we drilled those holes, pilot holes, screwed those in. So when we do flip this up, that functions and opens, and then these are not going anywhere. I mean, I'd have to try hard, and again, they're going to be pretty stationary all the time, so I'm not worried about them at all. And then we will get the carpet put on top of this, and we have good storage underneath, so the rough-in is good, the fitment's great, and things are still level, which is what we want. Let's get our carpet, let's get that installed and see how it all turns out when we're finished. All right, on to the final steps to get this platform finished up. So we're gonna get it covered in a carpet. I found this outdoor style area rug. It's a little bit thicker, but it moves nicely. So this is gonna be durable. It's also surprisingly soft for what it is. And it was like 15 bucks. So we're gonna use this to cover it. I'll link you some stuff, again, to everything I'm really using in the description. But we only had to make a couple tweaks to this once we got it all in there and finished. One tweak we made, took about 1/4 of an inch off each side, so when you open this, it does not hit the side panels of the doors where the speakers are at, because this was just a little bit wide. So just took a little bit off. That's going to be fine. And then we did take a little bit off on this side too, like again maybe 1/4 of an inch, just so it was a little bit better clearing the back of the front seats. But now it's time to get the carpet on it. We're gonna probably take this apart. We'll wrap it around the edges and use our staple gun underneath. So it'll hide all the staples that are holding it. We'll get it pretty tight and secure, and it should look nice. And then hopefully we'll install it, and we should be pretty much wrapped up on this project. Let's see how it goes for this last part. And there we have it. We have it installed. It looks great. The carpet color is close enough to the rear carpet. It's not an exact match, but honestly, it looks seamless enough. Pretty pleased with the way that this turned out. I already got some camping gear up underneath, and then I have a bedroll or inflatable mattress that actually fits in this perfectly, and I fit on it great. So excited to get out, do some camping, do some exploring. We'll have some of those videos hitting the channel here in the future as well, so make sure you are subscribed. And if you did find this video helpful, make sure that you leave a like on it as well. It helps others find it, and it is greatly appreciated. But other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. I'll see all of you guys in the next one.